Hi, my name is Jordan Cutler. I'm a level 10 national qualifying gymnast, and I'm here today to talk to you guys about sports. Who here likes sports? Yeah. Now, who likes to win? Raise your hand if you do. Yeah, everybody likes to win, but it's not easy to win, is it? No, and we can't do it alone. We need coaches. But how do coaches get us to be the best? What methods do they use? Let's look at this. One method that a lot of coaches use is authoritarian coaching. Authoritarian coaching uses intimidation, abuse, and fear tactics to get the best out of their athletes. Let's look at the definitions of these terms. Intimidation, having a frightening, overawing, or threatening effect. Abuse, to treat someone with cruelty or violence, especially regularly or repeatedly. Fear tactics, a strategy intended to manipulate by arousing fear or alarm. Does this sound familiar to any of you who do sports? I bet it does, because between 40 and 50% of athletes experience some form of abuse, and 60 million children participate in sports every year. This means that between 24 and 30 million children are abused every year because of sports. I'm one of these million. I have experienced and witnessed so much abuse in my sport, and I have been doing it for over a decade now, but people don't want to see it for what it is. They say things like, oh, getting knocked around a lot, getting yelled at by a coach, that's just how sports are. And they're right. That is how sports are. But should it be? Is it okay that it is? At what point does tough coaching cross into abuse? J.P. Nerbun, an inspirational coach and best-selling author whose goal is to change sports culture, says, quote, "A tough coach understands they are coaching a human, not just an athlete. They are demanding and they tell the truth, but they do so in a way that respects the person." When coaching becomes abusive, we see name-calling, yelling, threatening, ignoring, humiliating, grabbing, shoving, and saying inappropriate things. Coaches dismiss their behavior by saying, "I'm doing this because I want to get you that win, because I want to make you the best." And we accept it. We accept the abuse. They make it seem like they have our best interests at heart by trying to get us to our goals. But sometimes it's more about them than it is about us. Sometimes we're just a pawn in their little game to win. I remember the year I made the jump from level 3 all the way to level 6. This was right when I started feeling the full effects of authoritarian coaching. I was just 9 years old. They trained us using the authoritarian coaching method. The theory being that they could scare us into doing our skills and into doing them well. I remember just struggle at such a young age, trying my hardest, working past exhaustion, and hearing nothing but, "What are you doing? It's like you've never done this sport before. You look terrible." I couldn't handle it. It was too much pressure and it was too much abuse. I couldn't sleep at night. I was throwing up. I was too scared to do the sport that I used to love, too scared to do the skills that I loved, and too scared to compete. So we knew that we had to make a change. We moved to another gym, but it was the same. Then we moved to another gym, the same. We ended up moving to 4 gyms, 4 sets of coaches, all the same. They would all run us into the ground with their training, creating dozens of overuse injuries, career-ending accidents for many, and they would try to delay puberty. And you're probably like, how does that work? How do you delay puberty? Well, in gymnastics, if you have things like breasts, butt, thighs, that adds weight, and it makes gymnastics harder. So coaches tried to modify us to fit their image of perfection by overtraining us so that we didn't develop into women. Coaches try and do this for all of us. They try to modify us to fit their image of perfection. And anyone who doesn't fit this perfection is punished. Coaches try to intentionally run people out of the sport who they don't see fit. The attitude is swim or drown instead of tailoring to each individual's needs and trying to make them the best that they can be. Coaches sow little seeds of doubt into your mind, making you feel like you're not good enough, making you feel like nothing you do is good enough. This is unfortunately many of our experiences in sports and with coaches. I have friends who do swimming, water polo, soccer, football, and dancing, and they all share similar stories to mine. Collegiate and Olympic caliber athletes also experience these same stories. We're talking serious abuse here. Sexual abuse. Did you know that 1 in 4 student athletes say that they have been sexually harassed or assaulted by a coach or trainer? I mean, this is serious. Serious mental, physical, emotional abuse. So bad that it causes eating disorders and even suicide. This is no small matter. Coaches are abusing young athletes and we accept it. We say, well, this is going to make me better. It's just how sports are. And we shrug it off. We accept the abuse. Mental, physical, emotional. Around 24 to 30 million children will be abused this year because of sports. Is that okay? Do we just accept that? No. We want to win, but we also want and need to have good experiences and positive experiences in our lives. And now you are probably wondering, well, okay, if the current method of coaching isn't the best way, then what is? And that is an excellent question. I am so glad that you asked. It is a little method that I like to call positive coaching. Positive coaching is a method that centers around positivity. And now let's be clear on what this means. Positivity, the practice of being or tendency of being optimistic in attitude. Respect, due regard for the feelings, wishes, rights, or traditions of others. Understanding, sympathetically aware of other people's feelings, tolerant and forgiving. Empathy, the ability to understand and share feelings of another. Let's look at some scenarios where we can really see positive coaching play out. So instead of coach saying things like, "You suck. You guys are effing R words." Or, "What the hell are you doing? Get it together right now or don't come back until you're ready to be a competitor." Coach could say things like, "Guys, huddle up. What's going on with us today? I feel like we're a bit off our game." And then listen to what the athletes have to say. Maybe they're tired. Maybe they had to study until 2 a.m. for a test and they're not really feeling up for training that day. Well, coach could come up with a solution like, "Okay guys, let's take 10 minutes, grab a snack, take a little break, drink some water, and then we'll get back after our training." In more extreme cases of authoritarian coaching, we could see coach is angry with one of his athletes. He feels like he's not training hard enough. So he grabs him by the jersey, yells in his face, and punishes him by doing extra conditioning and not allowing any water for the rest of practice. But it's a hot day, and the athlete collapses. It's heat stroke, and chances of survival are slim. Versus what could have happened if he had a positive coach. Coach could have called him over, asked what's going on, told him that he needs a little bit more from him, and coach could have listened to what the athlete had to say. Maybe the athlete says, "Oh, that my girlfriend just broke up with me the night before, and he's feeling a bit distracted during practice." Coach could give him some empathy and tell him to take a break and to come back and focus on the sport that he loves. The athlete takes those 5 minutes and regathers himself, gets a better mindset, and comes back ready to get on his goals and back to training. See, positive coaching is so beneficial to the athlete that they not only avoid injury, but they also feel better emotionally. I got 7 injuries from coaches not listening to me when I was too tired. I literally would tell my coaches, "I don't think I'm physically able to do this move right now. I just don't think I can even do it." And they still had me do it. And of course it resulted in an injury. 7 injuries. Those are 7 injuries that could have been avoided if I'd had a positive coach. And when you get injured, it's not just physical, it's mental. You go through so many emotions, like wondering if you'll ever return back to your sport, wondering what that means for you, if it's the end of your dreams. It's not fair. It's not fair to the athletes to put them through that just because you didn't want to give them a rest. Let's look at another example. A young girl is afraid to do her back handspring on the beam. Coach yanks her off and forces her to do back handsprings on the floor until her body gives out. Versus what could have happened. Coach could have noticed that the girl was scared and stacked mats up underneath the beam and told her that she'd stand there for the first one. The girl is nervous, but she still goes for it because she trusts her coach. And now that she's had a good experience on that skill, she's confident and knows that she can go for it on her own the next time. See, here, positive coaching helped the girl get closer to her goal and also had a positive impact on her mentally. That is the power of positive coaching. It has had this effect on me, and I know that it can help you too. The positive environment that I'm training at right now is my gym called The Rise. The Rise is a gym that has only positive coaches. I used to hate my life and dread going to do the sport that I used to love. I used to wake up and just dread my day. I didn't want to leave my house, but now I don't have to face that anymore because of positive coaching. And it's helped me get to my goals so much quicker. You know, for gymnasts, it usually takes about 6 months to get ready for season, but training at The Rise, I was ready in just 2 months. This gym has changed my life. I found out about it because of my favorite coach. I actually met her at one of my former authoritarian gyms, so she really stood out because she was so amazing. And I knew that when she moved, that I had to follow her. I had to be coached using the positive coaching method. And when I moved, I realized the reason why this gym was so different was because they aligned with the Positive Coaching Alliance. If you go to the Positive Coaching Alliance website and you click on supporters and go to pro teams, you might notice some of your favorite teams align with the Positive Coaching Alliance. Chicago Bears, Boston Bruins, Chicago Cubs, Golden State Warriors, the Chargers, the Raiders, the Lakers. All of these teams align with the Positive Coaching Alliance and the Positive Coaching Method. Just know that every game that they win, every positive result that they get, is a result of this method. Authoritarian coaching might get you the win, like positive coaching can, but it is not an acceptable way to coach. We can never accept abuse. We want to win, but we also want and need to have good and positive experiences in our lives. Because getting that win, getting that trophy or medal, that only lasts you for a moment. But the journey of how you got there will last you a lifetime. So you could choose to take that win with authoritarian coaching and suffer the aftermath of childhood abuse. Or you could choose to set yourself up for a happy and successful life later with that medal or with that trophy. So for those of you out there who are being abused, don't accept it. Make a change. Find an environment that's healthy and happy, but that also gets you to your goal. And parents, please support your children in this. This is for their lives now, but also for the rest of their lives, for their future. We, the people, decide how we want to be coached. It's not good to have abusive coaches, right, guys? Right. All right, so let's make a change starting today. My message to you all is if you're in an abusive dynamic, just leave. Close that door. Because when you close the door, you open a new one. And you might have to do it a few times. I know that I have. But I eventually found the right place. And you can too. So don't accept, affect. Change the culture. Change the coaching. Change the future. Positive coaching. Thank you.